Throughout Geometry Dash history, there have always been big levels that have seemingly risen to the top out of nowhere. While there are plenty of big demon levels that have had countless previews and plethoras of hype built for them before their release, sometimes a demon that only a small percentage of the community has even heard of before just forms out of thin air, suddenly catching the community eye. Often these levels have been built off hard work and determination, but truly, the biggest factor that plays into the creation and blowing up of them is mostly luck. While it is often said that while fame and prestige can come from hard work, a significant portion of its nature is said to also have been related to being in the right place at the right time. There have very well been many examples of this in Geometry Dash before, but there is one tale that stands apart from the rest, as truly being one of the luckiest of all. Though this level series started from nothing, it had just the right mixture of passion, drive, and blessing that managed to drive it right to the top after its creation. From here, its new position of influence would allow it to be capitalized on to create 2 sequels, both of which would become fan-favorite extreme demons in the community. Yes, I am talking about Gamma, Sigma, and Omega, all extreme demons hosted by MindCap, and all 3 members of one of the most coveted and well-known level series of all time, the Greek Letter series. Though these levels began from seemingly nothing, their rise to the top is truly an interesting and noteworthy tale, and in this video, I plan to take it right back to their beginnings, as today, I will be recapping the history of the Greek Letter series, from its unlikely formation, conceptualization, realization, and finishing. The story of these levels is a wild, unorganized ride, but nonetheless, I will do my best to retell their tale. This is the history of the Greek Letter series. To begin the story of these levels, we have to travel back in time to late 2015. Of course, it all begins with MindCap, the host of all 3 levels in the series and the spearheader of the collabs. Though MindCap is quite a big name in the community today, having hosted things like the Greek Letter series, Celestial Force, Mad Mansion, and with Limbo on the rise, he has not always had the big title influence he enjoys now. In fact, MindCap came from very humble beginnings. His first Geometry Dash community and the home of his first engagement with other players was the Geometry Dash Google Plus 2.1 Hype community. Now renamed to the 2.2 Hype community, as 2.1 has already been released, this congregation of small-time players was where MindCap and many other unknown community members would start their careers. The congregation could be quite toxic at times, but it was also nice, and overall, it was a place to call home to aspiring creators like MindCap. However, most people there were not very mature and didn't understand how the community really operated. People would believe a player who said they beat a level by showing their 100% progress on the home screen and, suffice to say, there were a lot of hackers. Despite this, as I said earlier, there were some notable names that originated from the Google Plus community. People like Hexhammer and Technical were some early members of interest. Of course, the 2.1 Hype community was not the only Google Plus Geometry Dash organization. The biggest one had upwards of 10k members. The community that MindCap was a member of was mostly filled with younger players, and as with many smaller GD congregations who didn't understand how the larger community operated, there were many petty squabbles and hacking accusations and scandals. Despite this, one of the main attractions was the mega collabs that were constantly being organized. Though there were many created MCs, most of them, as to be expected, were not of the highest quality. However, this would be where MindCap would begin his endeavor as a creator. The first mega collab he would join would be an extreme demon meant to be harder than Sonic Wave, dubbed Angelic Sound. Of course, keep in mind that at the time the race to verify Sonic Wave was still on, and Sonic's had not yet blown up after his victory over it. It was meant to be verified by a player named Jammy, who was worshipped as a god in the G+ community, as he had supposedly beat Sonic Wave legitimately before Sonic's, even though he clearly hacked. This gives some insight into how hackers were able to prosper in this community. Nonetheless, MindCap joined and made his part, which can still be found on his channel today. It was nothing impressive, but MindCap was now inspired, and he wanted to start his own Extreme Demon Mega Collab. Whether he knew it or not at the time, this would be where the beginning of his legacy and the legacy of the Greek Letter series would begin. It would be May of 2017 when MindCap would preview the first piece of gameplay for Gamma, and shortly after, he would begin to decorate his part. Of course, the gameplay he made would not be included in the final level, and the decoration he made would also be scrapped. However, the idea had been formed, and MindCap was now inspired to find creators for his new level. He knew some smaller builders in the G+ community, such as Dejoxy and Knight, who would both have parts in the final level. However, MindCap was well aware that this was far from enough people to make a functioning and finished product, and so, he set out on his journey to enlist creators for Gamma. To find builders for his Mega, MindCap would have to venture outside the Google Plus community he called home. His first stop would be to head to Geometry Discord, the home base where real Mega collabs are organized and GD communities prospered. He searched his way through countless servers, and after some time he managed to pin down Equinox, Angry Boy, and Metalface, 3 members who would join the MC. He would find Metalface before he would become a big name as a creator, and this would allow for MindCap to convince him to join the collab. However, as he continued to search for more participants across Discord, MindCap would slowly start to understand the quality and management that was actually needed to make a good Mega collab. He witnessed firsthand how creators worked and made good levels, and as he comprehended how bad his Mega collab was in his current state, he felt resolved with the drive to recreate his MC and turn it into a worthy product. And so he began the process of revamping his part and the gameplay, and with the new members he had acquired, things were looking up for Gamma. He met Macdonau, who would offer to build in the MC, and he also supposedly met Sharks and Darwin, though those turned out to be jokes from friends. However, there would be no catfish like the one MindCap was about to encounter. Woogie has always been a big name in the community, and when MindCap went on Korean Facebook to search for good creators for his MC, meeting Woogie and getting an offer for him to join the MC would have been a dream. However, he would somehow stumble upon him, and as they talked, MindCap believed him more and more. He had a decoration style very similar to Woogie's, and he also had the same exact phone. On top of this, there was an instance where he said he would be streaming, and a short time later, the real Woogie went live. All things considered, it would be hard not to believe this person, and when they came out as a catfish, it devastated MindCap. He had seemingly met his idol and was going to collab with him, and the fact that it was all just a lie was a surreal experience. He then began to question if all the other participants in the collab were also catfishes, and he began to break down as a host. Thankfully, Metalface managed to bring him back to his senses eventually. After the Woogie drama, some good luck would finally come his way. With a stroke of sheer blessing, he would somehow enlist Geometry-Mod Lemons into his collab via a random DM. The chances of this happening are unreal, as almost no mod will just join a random MC from a random DM, but this heavily boosted MindCap's motivation, as he had another big name in on the project. He would also get Lithofusion in, who at the time was, let's say, a normal person. Killbot had not even been made yet, and locating this underrated creator was another fluke that would add to the Mega collab. After all this, the team was finally assembled. The final member list would consist of Angry Boy, Lemons, Metalface, MindCap, Macdonau, Lithofusion, Dejoxy, Penuto, Ferox242, Equinox, and Night Eye, now known as Newt. The level would be finished in late 2017, and finally, MindCap's first Mega collab and prize creation was realized. To think that it came from this trashy layout and very subpar decoration is honestly insane. However, it wasn't finished yet. Gamma was, at the time, a top 3 difficulty level, and it still needed to be verified. This level was passed between a multitude of people, as it started with Game Bro, who would drop it. It would then go to Diamond Splash, Wooshi, Scullo, Flex, and Bold Step before MindCap's friend Gaiden Hurtney would ask world-class player and top 1 Demon Slayer Sonics if he would like to verify. In another miracle of sheer luck, Sonics accepted the project. This was insane for MindCap, as he would now have the biggest player in the world to show off his verification project and get it in the community eye. Sonics would begin his verification streams, and it was the first level he struggled on in a long time. It would take him about 10,000 attempts, a lot for him, but he would eventually verify it in December of 2017. The level would be rated in an unbelievable 9 days, which was ridiculous considering Rob's activity at the time. He would be placed at number 3 on the demons list, and all of a sudden, everyone in the community knew about the new extreme demon Gamma. This level came from nothing, and somehow it managed to work its way right up to the top. However, though the level name was ringing throughout the community, not all the feedback was positive. In fact, the majority of the community considered Gamma to be inconsistent, unorganized, and extremely messy. However, it didn't matter. MindCap has finally made his name, and though this was his first MC, it would not be his last. Despite this, the criticism was piling up, and instead of ignoring the claims, MindCap decided he would one-up them. He wanted to make something better, something that could prove his ability as a host. He wanted to make a level that would cure Gamma's faults, and that could be regarded as a pretty and well-made MC. With these hopes and dreams in mind, MindCap would set out once again to find creators for his MC for the second time, and thus, the story of Sigma begins. Sigma was meant to be a better level than Gamma from the start. As a host, MindCap accepted that, though Gamma was his level, it was of lesser quality than the community would have expected, and he wanted to make them something that he could truly be proud of. From the gameplay to the decoration and theming, Sigma would one-up Gamma in every aspect. Of course, ever since Gamma, MindCap had always toyed with the idea of making a sequel, but it truly kicked off when a few members from the original collab and outside creators started pushing it. MindCap began the organization of the layout in March of 2018, and from here the Gamma sequel began. The first part of gameplay would be the initiation of the collab, and it would be made by DurrySwan97 and be posted to MindCap's YouTube channel as the first official preview we got of Sigma. It would be far from the last, however. Before its completion, Sigma would have a total of 7 previews, the most out of any level in the series. As these previews came to MindCap's channel every once in a while, the overall community was beginning to see that Sigma was aiming to be a much higher quality mega collab than Gamma, and as this realization set in, so did the hype. Sigma was originally meant to be much harder than Gamma, and though the version we know today is heavily nerfed, what used to be the unnerfed copy is likely harder than the golden. But back when it was still being made, the unnerfed version was planned to be the final difficulty, and the question was, who would verify this beast of a level? Well, none other than Tosh Deluxe. Tosh Deluxe has always been quite a controversial player and YouTuber, but despite that, he still has one of the biggest followings on GD YouTube today. Anyhow, Tosh was instated as the verifier, and he made some decent progress, completing a run of Jenkins' unnerfed part. Keep in mind this part of the level in its unnerfed state is frame perfect in almost every section, and it is unimaginably difficult. Yet, somehow Tosh did it. Tosh uploaded the video, and drama would commence from there. You see, now that it was public that Tosh was the verifier, MindCap would begin to get heavy criticism for choosing a hacker as the verifier. You see, all this was happening right around the time of the Devil Vortex 52 Saw drama, and the majority of the community at this point was convinced that Tosh hacked Devil Vortex. MindCap was now beginning to see the issue with instating Tosh as the verifier, and with the monumental difficulty of the run he did of Jenkins' part, he began to wonder if he had hacked that as well. To this day, MindCap does not know if Tosh legitimately beat Jenkins' part or not. With all the drama swirling around Tosh's name, MindCap decided to search elsewhere for a verifier. The prospect of verifying Sigma passed to and from a few top players, but it was only word of mouth. No actual verifier was set in stone until MindCap went to Technical. If you recall from earlier in this video, Technical and MindCap go way back. They were both members and friends of the Google Plus 2.1 hype community, and their long-lasting relationship allowed for MindCap to convince him to accept the project. Tech had already verified something for MindCap before. Just a small while before we undertook Sigma, Tech re-verified Gamma with the official coin and bug fix update. Verifying in the Gamma update boosted the unknown rising player's popularity a bit, but nothing would rocket him to the top like Sigma did. Sigma would be Technical's biggest challenge to date, and under his wing, the level went through 5 difficulty phases. The unnerfed version would eventually be trashed due to the stupid amount of difficulty it entailed. However, after a long struggle and some devastating fails, Technical verified Sigma. This was arguably the first big step he took to finally becoming the player he is today, and it was definitely a big moment in his history. Sigma was finally finished and verified, and the overall opinion of the level was miles better than what Gamma had received. The theming, song choice, and overall decoration and gameplay were miles better than its predecessor, and to this day, Sigma is a fan-favorite Extreme Demon. It would take Sigma a bit longer than Gamma to get rated, but after its eventual feature, it would be underrated and be placed below Gamma, even though today is considered to be harder, sitting one spot above its companion level at number 23 on the list. This also makes it the hardest of the 3 levels in the series. However, there was still an opportunity for one final level. Though Sigma was much more well-made and received than Gamma, it still had some flaws. It was messy in a lot of parts, and some decoration was subpar. With this in mind, MindCap decided to embark on a final journey to create the finale in the trilogy, a level that would be much cleaner and prettier than the other 2. With determination, MindCap began his final level in the Greek Letter series, Omega. Unfortunately, Omega is the blandest story and creation-wise of the 3 levels. MindCap had already established himself as a host and a community presence, and it was not hard to enlist new members for the collab. The roster of participants branched out farther than what it had ever been before. Members like Temp, Tho Martin, Ryder, Scrumpy, Fufu Fawk, and many more would join in on the project. MindCap would be the host in the beginning, but he soon would have to pass that responsibility to Ryder, as he was interrupted by exams. Progress in the level came quickly, and things were looking good. Every part in the level looked superb, and it was definitely coming out as the cleanest MC of the 3 levels. The project was finished in December of 2019, and it was previewed on Nobbleboy's YouTube channel, giving the level a huge amount of notoriety and hype for verification. The verifier was originally top player Zeroya, but he had to drop it, and it would then go to none other than the verifier of Sigma and the Gamma Coin update, Technical. It was fitting, the verifier of the other two levels to come back and put a rest to the series one final time. Omega would be one of the final things he would stream on YouTube as a major verification, and he beat it on February 15th of 2020. Tech has stated that the level was extremely fun to play and beat, and though it is the easiest of the 3 levels in the series, sitting at number 39 on the list today, it is by far the cleanest and most well-made. Despite what you think about the decoration of these 3 levels, they are truly a staple in the GD community, and they tell an inspiring tale of luck and hard work. Though seemingly not groundbreaking levels, they have reached their branches out to all corners of the community, and they will be remembered as one of the most significant and coveted level series of all of 2.1. No one could have expected the rise of these 3 levels, and the story of such an unknown and inexperienced creator rising to the top and capitalizing on his position to create such a love trilogy is one that I duly enjoyed telling. These levels will not be forgotten, and though they have lost relevancy today, they will no doubt go down as one of the most famous trilogies in all of GD history. Well, that's all for the Greek Letter series. I honestly really enjoyed making this video. I think it's super interesting how these levels came to be, and the sheer chance that turned them into what they are today. I personally wouldn't have it any other way. Though Gamma is definitely not the best, Sigma and Omega are 2 of my favorite extreme demons, and I am happy that things turned out this way. I want to give a huge thank you to MindCap before I end, as he has been a massive help walking me through the steps of how this trilogy came to be. And though he has more subs than me, you should all go make sure you are subscribed to him. He has some awesome mega collabs coming up, and they are definitely worth staying tuned for. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy learning about these levels as much as I did. And if you enjoyed, feel free to consider subscribing. By the way, thank you all so much for the insane support as of late. It has been awesome that you guys have been enjoying my latest videos so much, and I hope I can keep making enjoyable stuff for you to watch. That's all I really have for this video. Again, thank you all so much for watching this far. I hope you learned something new, and I'll catch you all in the next one.